Hey guys, Ashley here. Today we're going to talk about the Sunseeker suspension spindle setup. Sun calls these forks after the terminology of bicycles. Other manufacturers call them Hubmounts. Some call them kingpins. We tend to call them spindles here at Utah Trikes. This is the part of your trike that connects the wheel to the frame and for the most part really determines how well your trike handles and the steering. So let's take a look at these on the table here. So this is the right side and this one's the left side here. And you'll see that they're not mirror images. And so there is a distinct right and left mount. The spindles themselves include the brake mount. So you'll see on the right side that the brake mount is on the bottom, and here on the left side, the brake mount is on the top. Two of the most important steering geometry angles are determined by the spindles themselves. So let's take a look at this here. The first angle is our center point steering. And so this is also our head tube inclination angle, where if you look at the angle between the axle and where the head tube goes, that's going to determine where the steering point intersects with the tire on the ground. The next important point that's determined by these is our Ackerman angle. And so that is going to be determined specifically by this offset on the steering arm here. The bolt, where that bolt hole lines up with our center pivot on our head tube angle. So this here means that our steering is pointing back towards the center of our rear wheel. The Ackerman angle is going to help reduce tire scrub, and it's going to help keep the wheels on the road by making sure that the inner wheel turns sharper than the outer wheel. So if we look on the outside here of our spindle, you'll see that there's a raised flange right here, and that's where the flange on our axle actually intersects and locks in. And then the most important feature of these particular spindles is our suspension. So I'm going to pull this boot down, or maybe pull it up here so you can see. You'll see here that we have a spring that's located between the bottom part of the spindle and the lower part of our head tube. This spring here is what provides for the suspension. So we'll be going into a more exhaustive look at the Sunseeker suspension spindles in a bit, and we'll link to that video once we've got that done. But these spindles are a replacement for the Sunseeker Fat Tad CXS, but they can also add front suspension to some of the other trikes, like the Sunseeker Eco Tad or the Easy Tad or the T3CX. And they also function very well for DIYers that are building their own trikes or quads, and they want to have a suspension spindle that integrates with the axle, brake mount, and other available parts. If you have any questions about this spindle, other steering parts, please let us know.